And it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions. Welcome back, everybody, to another weekend of and to another beautiful race we got coming up tonight. We are going to be driving in China with the Challenger here. That everything is properly, and then let's go to
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm back in the casting booth once last season. Back here, back casting the tier I was in myself last season, so it's good to be back. China, which wasn't on the calendar last season. I know it's one of the sign-up circuits as well for this season, and it's one of the tracks I more prefer. I think one of the more technical tracks on the calendar, so I think it'd be good to see what these Challenger drivers can get up to.
Yeah, honestly, it's been an eternity, really, as we have, well, since we have seen the track, which is ultimately why we chose it as a sign-up track for this season, and also I'm quite happy to have it had in the random draw for this season, because I don't know if we even raced here at all on this game, and of course the last 3 IRL GPs here got cancelled, so yeah, a little bit of a classic that's making the return, at least in Formula Sundays.
Yeah, no, it's good to see as well, as I'm following Solar on the first flying lap of the day, as obviously naturally he goes purple in the first sector, being out first. It'd be nice to see what his benchmark is. Not one of the quickest in Challenger, I'd say. More be looking at Fanta, Nitro, and potentially Martin for those times when they come around. Speaking of Nitro, he's on a lap. I know Solar came through the first sector with a 24.4. Nitro gonna go 0.2 quicker than that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Yeah, as I say, Solar, swap back to him. He's almost lost the car and gone off track limits.
Yeah, I mean, Solar has not played this game for very long. Has just picked it up, I think, middle of the last season or something, like when he got it to cast with us anyways. He's gonna be in the booth, I think, for Elite, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, a full evening of FS for him as well. Gonna be finishing his hot lap right here. Given that someone asked me that before, I think I've looked at the time trial times for the top 5 for Elite, which is gonna be like 1:30.6. So I think for Challenger, people should be very happy with mid 1:31s, I'd say, and Flavio is already a good way there.
Yeah, I'd say about 1:31.3 is your pole. As I see Nitro come into the line now, he did get a bit of a toe on the back straight from Ocean, so it'd be a bit quicker maybe than expected, but he doesn't take provisional pole. It's a 32.0 for him, so yeah, really flying from Flavio on his first lap. 31.7 as a banker is quite incredible, to be honest.
You say he got a pull from Ocean?
A toe.
Yeah, Ocean. I don't see Ocean in the lobby. Maybe I'm just blind, but also
Vexilt. Sorry, because Ocean's race band Vexilt's filling in for AlphaTauri, which is what because I'm so used to seeing Ocean.
Yeah, I was like,
AlphaTauri is just like.
I swear, what is going on here? This man is not Ocean, but yeah, fair. That makes sense. Isn't Vexilt even normally having a full-time seat anyways?
He hasn't been assigned one.
Right? I thought he was in the Alfa Romeo, but I may be mistaken.
I don't think so. I don't think he has the role assigned to him in the server, but yeah, Glenn, who we completely missed, by the way, going provisional pole with a 31.6. Fanta, just test my maths, like 16 thousandths behind. So
Bro,
that's
this
what I really
does
like about
test your mind.
it. Does test my. It does. Like I do maths all week, and I'm like, hold
Yeah,
on.
fair.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing I love about Challenger compared to Elite. The qualifying times are so competitive. I'd say there's one of 6 drivers on the day, especially in this circuit, that can get poles. Vexil
Oh yeah.
sets a 31.5. We were speaking about him purely out, and Mr. Janeer
Oh my
has
I think he has
died.
actually spun.
Yeah.
An unironic retirement here. But yeah, I think a lot of people coming back into the pits now. I don't think there's many on a hot lap anymore. Pit entry, of course, quite treacherous as well. Oh, I see they removed the gravel trap.
They did.
Yeah,
Yes.
might make it a little bit safer, I guess.
I still think someone's going to end up in the pit wall today. Whether it be Challenger or Elite, I just have a feeling either someone's going to outbrake themselves or they're going to turn too quickly and find themselves in the wall. I don't know. I just have a feeling that that's going to happen. But speaking of people on outlaps or flying laps, I think
Tutor?
Tutor might be on a lap. Yeah,
I think he
just seeing
has
he's gone
abandoned his
purple.
first lap. Do a lot of ERS in the tank. And try for a second one immediately.
So 144 would not be the most competitive time that I've seen today. Not about 13 seconds off the pole time at the minute, but we'll see what his actual time is. He's another one who I think could be in the run-in for pole today. There's, as I said, quite a few, as he's going to bring it round nicely. No wheel spin out the final corner, brings it to the line. It's not going to be pole, it's going to be 8th place, slotting in between the two McLarens of Astral and Martin. So yeah.
Not the best exit out of the hairpin there in the very end. Looked like he missteered or something. Very slow getting out of it. But yeah, qualifying is still a good while to go. I think Tuto we usually expect some sort of best of the rest position, maybe a little bit higher. At least in the race. I think his race pace is stronger than his quali pace. So yeah, he'll be happy if he gets to that like P4 or 5. Will put him in a good position for the race.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially, well, I know I've raced against him. He likes to be very aggressive on the battery deployment, all the battery out early from him. So it's a good place for him to gain positions.
I mean,
and that
that's
sort of
like
thing.
90% of the here, isn't it? They just see,
Yeah.
oh well, there's a battery charge, I might as well use it, and battery gone.
Copying the famous twin strategy
Oh
of
yeah,
don't
just leaving
switch
it on.
ERS off. Don't switch it off at all times. That means you're quicker regardless. And it actually doesn't, but that seems to be their belief going through it. But as I said, yeah, everyone on an outlap. I don't know if Sean's on a lap at the minute. I think he might be, but he hasn't set a time yet. So I'll see what his first sector 24.3. Apparently purple in the first sector. I'm pretty sure I've seen Nitro go quicker though. So yeah, that's the thing about this
purple is
game as
broken
well.
in this game, yeah.
Yes, so many bugs because I've seen it where someone set a full purple lap, but then they're like a second off the pace, and you're thinking, well, they're just
Yeah.
not in purple, then are they?
Yeah, I don't know. This is like a running issue for several games at this point, and this is like it's a thing you like grow to accept, but it's honestly real sad that a small indie game company with a small budget can't fix simple bugs like this over the span of years.
But don't worry, guys, we'll throw you some new cosmetics, and that will make the pain go away. But yeah, no, it's one of those bugs that hopefully in a future game you'll see it be fixed and you won't believe it. But I'll be riding on board with Deddy now, who is 2/10 up in the first sector, coming to the end of sector 2. 4/10 up. It's looking like a good lap. It's going to put him, if he keeps on this pace, it's going to put him ahead of Tutor into P8, which is a big gap for where he is P12. Obviously, Mr. Junior spinning between, I think that's turn 8 and 9, and losing that. So he cannot set another lap. So he'll for sure keep one position regardless. Depends on his exit out of this hairpin, which Tutor got a bit tangled up with, that we mentioned. Comes round. You might say, yeah, pretty good exit from him. Now he's got to floor it straight to the line. Don't know if the
No.
deploy is going to catch him off, but it looks like it's an alright lap as he goes into P10. Close enough.
Yeah, Diddy with a slight improvement. Flavio is currently a 1.5 tenth up here on his lap, which is just about where he needs to be for provisional pole, maybe a little bit quicker. Let's see what his delta says here. Lost a bit of time here. At this point would be just behind Fanta. But yeah, as you said before, top 4 currently very close together. And honestly, I haven't raced here in ages. Must have been like 3 games ago or something. But this is a track where you can decently overtake, right?
Yeah. Down the back straight is probably where you see the most overtakes, and if people want to be risky, they'll be sending it in the hairpin. But there's a good amount of opportunities. It just depends on Bolgin. Here we go, the AlphaTauri toe again. It might become famous in this qualifying session, but Vexil, even without the toe, is able to end up sat in pole position. So
No, he got the toe before.
Oh,
Vexil
did he?
is currently on an out lap. He's gonna get the toe in the next lap when Nitro is going to be on an in lap. So yeah.
Yeah, Nitro 3/10 up, and it moves him ahead of Flavio, who did take pole with his original lap, but is back in the pits. So I assume abandoned that lap we were just talking about. But yeah. Vexil obviously on that pole. AlphaTauri teamwork at an all-time high, it seems. And well, it's working for them. P1 and P4. Honestly, going into the season, even with Ocean and Nitro, they were my favourites for the constructors.
Yeah.
Because it's such a strong pairing for the tier. Ocean and Nitro, in my opinion, are top 5 drivers consistently. So I think it'll be a big surprise if anyone else and any other constructor can come close. Maybe the McLarens, but honestly, I think the AlphaTauris should have it, unless someone's out here to prove me wrong.
McLarens are way stronger in the seeding than their performance has shown so far. Vexil with the invalidation here, so it's not going to be another attempt for him. The 2 AlphaTauris probably just going to go into pits again. Randro does not look very fast. Martin up on his time after the first sector. Only a very minor advantage. The first 2 turns are like crazy, honestly. It's so insane how you can just randomly find half a second there. If you get the lines right. Martin here has gotten another 3/10 in the middle sector. Now he needs a good few last turns. I think this was not an ideal acceleration onto the main or the back straight here rather. But yeah, 3/10 could get him far, honestly. With a little bit more, he could go up into the first 2 or 3 rows. So, see what his last turn is looking like here. Easy to invalidate here as well, of course. Easy to cut and even easier to run wide. And that is a very good lap. Was just behind Nitro there. It's so close between the top 6, I'd say. And even Randro isn't that far away from them.
The thin margins, I think another 300ths he loses there. He falls behind Flavio. So, but yeah, he's on that 3rd row with Flavio currently. As you said, 3,000 separate him and Nitro. But it'd be interesting to see where these improvements come now on these final laps. As we see all these cars that will come back out now, looking to improve those times, looking to push themselves further up the order. Speaking of people on laps, I was going to flip to Tutor, but he's invalidated his lap. So yeah, everyone on an out lap at the minute.
Yes, he has cut the turn after the first sector quite heavily. So instead we're going to go with Sean, who is currently comfortably sitting in last with Solar together. But I'm sure they can improve at least a little bit there. They are almost 2 seconds clear off the top 10. In fact, they are 2 seconds clear of the top 10. So, yeah. Surely there was like any major mistake or like bad line in their first attempt. 0.2 up after the first sector already, so not looking too bad.
30% ERS though. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe he's left it on in his outlap because that's when he gets the back straight, he's going to be out of it, and that's where you get the most time out of it with the high ERS. Naturally, people obviously running higher wings. Solar not up on his time after the first sector as well, but yeah, as he's going to get to the back straight, he's going to be a 10th up, but he's just going to have no ERS to work with. It's going to be completely drained by the time he gets to the end of the straight. Even I'd say halfway down the straight, is the ERS is drained so quickly around here. Yeah, 4%, 3%. Yeah, it's going. Maybe he forgets to turn it off. I know that happened to Astral a lot last season when we were teammates. He'd just forget to flick the hot lap off, but
That's not horrible though. He only ran out really 2/3 through, and that's the point where you don't decelerate much anymore anyways.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I think it's just gonna be just about enough to carry him through to the end of the lap. The second improvement, but only one position for him for now, as him and Solar the only two drivers right now who haven't breached the 133s yet. Solar on an invalid lap as well. Gonna have to try again. No time to go into the pits and do another outlap.
Yeah, I just think that unless he's got no ERS, he has to go again. Solar, there's no risk. Yeah, he's going again on the 40% ERS. I think he knows he can get at least above Sean here with a good lap. But yeah, everyone now coming out on their final laps. Den is a 10th and a half up. It's a good improvement for him. It might be enough to keep P8, but apart from that, it doesn't gain him anything in terms, because Randro is too far in front. As long as he doesn't invalidate around this final corner, he doesn't. Oh, but he spins into the wall. He hasn't invalidated, but I'm right there. But he spun it, and Den is not going to get an improvement. And Flavio, storming lap to take pole position, 31-4 here. Vexilt though is on a lap here, and he's slightly up in the first sector, so this is where we'll see pole, I think, swap a few times now, as Glenn, Fanta, both starting laps now. This is where it goes all over the place. I don't think Nitro is going to get another lap in. He's on his out lap.
It's going to be super close, but I don't think so neither, honestly.
Nah, he's too far away. 20 seconds. There's no chance.
Yeah, he's
I think he might just be welcome for Vexilt.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, because he's not going to get another lap in. But Vexilt 2/10 down. He's got a toe every lap, so I don't think a toe will be
Fanta is
sufficient.
0.4 up after the first sector already. So that is a huge lead. He only needs about 2/10, so he wouldn't really say chill in the rest of the lap, but he for sure can bring this home without risking absolutely everything here. Coming up to Sector 3 here, let's see his delta, 0.5 even. This could be the pole lap we're watching right here, unless there's a major improvement coming out by Vexilt still. Nope, Vexilt into the pits, Nitro just crossing the line, taking the finish line. Not made it for another attempt here, the second AlphaTauri driver. But Fanta here, he could well make it onto the top spot.
Yeah, Glenn's not up either, so if he doesn't mess up out of this final corner, he should have pole position wrapped up, and it will be a storming advantage. Doesn't invalidate either, to the line, and wow, 31.1, it's 4/10 almost clear of Flavio. He just saved it right to the end, push it down, no more improvement. Obviously gear shift, moving up ahead of Den, who invalid spun on his final lap.
Astral is coming through still.
6/10 up as well, so he's going to move himself ahead of Den, all being good. To the line he goes, and he does move ahead of Den. Just slightly missing out on the 131s, but that is the end of qualifying, and what a lap from Phantominum to put him onto pole position, and by some margin as well.
Yeah, and honestly, like, a crazy lap time, even if we look at it. I don't know if, on some tracks, GP mode is quicker than time trials. So this might be less crazy than it sounds right now, but this is like half a second off top 5 elite tier pace otherwise. So pretty crazy.
I'd say it is.
Yeah.
When I was doing practice with Jimsky and Seagull, they were doing about 30. They were doing about a second quicker.
Oh, okay.
So
okay. So I'd say a bit quicker. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, 30.1 ish. 30.0 even at times, so yeah, interesting. They go Phantominum banging lap from Flavio on the front row. And then you got Vexil and Glenn, and then Nitro lining up behind his new teammate for this weekend. Martin with obviously Nitro on the third row, Randro and Gearshift, 2 new people to the league in the fourth row, Astral and Den, then Tutor and Deddy, Mr. Junior, who obviously only got 1 lap in,
Yeah,
will be
fair.
sharing it with Mikey Boy, and then Solar and Sean, the 2 not able to get to the 32s, will share the final row.
Yeah, the worst part, I think, is that Monsieur Genier here spun on a in-lap, I think. Because I think he spun immediately after he set a time already. Unless he was going for it again. But yeah, really unfortunate for him. We have formation lap on again, I think. So everybody just stay in the game. Don't tab out. Don't disconnect. I can't re-invite you. Yeah, I don't know. Would be too much to ask for to get a stable online lobby from this game after years.
Yeah, I've just watched my cat jump over the fence from the ground, which is quite impressive. So, yeah, I don't know. Just stared out my window, and just saw him like leap over. But don't worry, I won't tab out. That's the last one. That's the thing. If the only thing you got from that, don't tab out, or don't cause any issues, because we don't want to be we don't want issues. Don't cause any issues.
Please.
But yes, in terms of strategy, I know Nitro, Astral, Martin, and Phantom Beatum were all talking about starting on the medium tires potentially, as now I can see what they've started on. Unless they all started on the soft, and they've all lied to me.
It's a
Oh, no,
very
there's a-
wild mix,
Oh my
honestly. Yeah, there is a lot
Yeah.
of different strats apparently.
Even the hards being used by Mikey DeBoy at the bottom, not the ideal, I'd say. I'd say the softs probably, or soft. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit of a mix. I
doesn't
think
matter.
the softs
It
go
doesn't really
after
matter.
about 7-8 laps.
Yeah, but it's
So-
soft mediums most likely anyways, so
Oh, yeah.
like the strat really don't matter. I guess Mikey is probably gonna have a little bit of a stint on the softs later because he just can extend a little bit longer on his hards. But apart from that, softs of course give you a big advantage on the start.
Yeah.
This is where you really need the grip and where you can get an advantage. So this might be playing out big time for Fanta and Vexiled. Also interesting thing, might be random, but we have all of the medium runners pretty much on the
Evens.
yes.
2, 4, 8, 10.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because
What a sight.
I don't know, like Jimsky has said it earlier in this in the Twitch chat. It is apparently a bit harder to start from the odd numbers.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. There's a bit of a bump on that one side that Jimsky was constantly complaining about.
Yeah,
I remember.
He has just said it again, so it must be something serious, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, you lose a
Yeah,
bunch of time. I think Flavio might get one of the better jumps here, but you talked about strategy. But ladies and gentlemen, what they don't know, this is Formula Sunday. Safety cars
Yeah.
can happen at any time.
That's like
So-
yeah. Always when you start on like harder compounds, there's a certain risk that you just don't get anything out of it because there is an early safety car or something. I'm not saying like this always has happened or will happen here, but of course like a lap 1 safety car won't matter too much, right? Because you can't really
No.
drive the entire race. But like a lap 5 or 6 safety car could be coming in clutch for the soft runners.
I reckon you could do a whole 20. It'd be tough. It'd be at the end of their life, but you could do, I reckon, 19 laps on the hards as Flavio DSQ'd from the obviously starting grid. This is where people failed to park. How could they? The easiest thing they'll probably have to do this weekend is park.
Oh well.
And yeah, here we go. Does Phantom Beatum get caught out by the bump as its lights out and away we go?
Yeah,
the-
we're
the
going
lights
away
go out
with a
for
little
you?
bit of a delay. This is always the case. This is also a thing that has existed for several years now. But a big start for Phantom Beatum and Flavio are already under attack. I think Glenn even lost the position to Martin already, and he will lose much more as there's a huge spin. Oh my god, that's not safe for work what the Alpine
the
was
hell?
doing there. What was that? Uh, a little bit of teabagging going on, but well, up in the front, I think everybody got through nice and well, up until Glenn, I guess. And yeah, Flavio could defend his P2 for now.
Yeah, interesting. As I say, everyone got through. Everyone but Astral's got a massive gap though between himself and Mr. Genya in 6th place, and notice it's all the soft runners pretty much that have gained from this. I don't know whether that's just odd it's happened.
It might
or
have
it's
been
a
dumb
brilliant
luck. Yeah.
dumb luck, yeah, and it could be, but yeah, Astral 5/10 behind Randro and 2.7 seconds to Mr. Genia, who's got 1.6 to Den, who was being aggressively riding. I don't know. I can't remember the order, to be honest. But yeah, no, Phantominum as well, pulling 1.2 off the start. And there you go, Randro looking for the move on Vexel. Maybe a double move.
I don't think he has the ground for that, but he is definitely going to P4 here. Very nicely done. Yeah, it might have really been that, well, the soft runners were all starting on the outside, sort of. And given the Haas span towards the inside, maybe they all just got through pretty easily. Yeah, hits coming out by Gearshift Guru and Den. Apparently the ones taking damage from this early incident. Would we also, like, I'm just gonna say it right here, like, they are probably not gonna hear me anymore, but any elite drivers in the chat can, well, hear my appeal to please not cause freaking 23 incidents over the 2 tiers again. That's been genuinely the most incidents I think we've ever had to look at on a single weekend, and guys, man, you know better.
Just because you say that now, I'm tempted to be Crashgate. But also, is your race screen bug? Because I've got the differences, and apparently Randro is a minute 35 behind Martin.
No, it is
and
not bugged for me. It's all good.
Right, on my screen it says Randro's a minute 34 behind Martin, and Vexilt's a minute 35 behind Randro. So, yeah, that is some differences. As Randro eyes up Martin here, and yeah, he goes around, and it's fixed itself now. Oh no, it hasn't. Randro's still a minute 35 currently ahead of Martin.
On the next crossing off. Oh my god, Martin overshot there quite a bit. This could be a chance for Vexil to pounce the opportunity, but he did not quite get his car alongside. Phantominum there is having a chill time, of course, has the tire advantage, and Flavio, who is not really slow, but he's definitely blocking the other soft runners from getting to Phantominum ever, even though Randro still has to make up a little bit of ground to even get to the Aston.
Yeah, I'd say not blocking. It's 1.2 the gap behind, so he's not really blocking. Someone also we haven't talked about that fell back was Nitro. I hadn't seen that, but he's fallen back to P11 from his start. I think it was in P5 or P6.
Yeah, it must have been just behind the Haas there in the collision. He has made a position back against Mikey, I think, just now.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, the gap between Randro and Flavio, of course, is because Randro just had to overtake Martin. Both of them lost a little bit of time. I do think Randro is just going to close up and probably going to pass Flavio from the pace we've seen last weekend. What I expect him to do with a tire advantage here. He will have DRS by a very slim margin, if I saw that right.
I think you did, yeah. We'll see now. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flavio's also burnt all his ERS as well. So as soon as that attack comes under, Vexilt getting past Martin, who's been fading very quickly, or fading as they say, fading fast. I don't know if people will get that reference in the chat, but yeah, Vexilt now a second behind Randro. So it'll be interesting to see this fight for P2. No moves further down the field that I can see, but yeah, Randro and Flavio both below 20 on the DRS, and Phantom on 60. So yeah, as you said, he's going to have a really calm time here. Also, so's Astral. He's been just chilling in 6th place, grabbing the DRS from Martin and Vexil, and yeah, just pulling away from Mr. Genya, who's at the minute I'd say best of the rest.
Where is he right now? 7th, yeah. I guess you could say so. It's gonna be interesting when the medium runners will get the advantage on the soft runners. As of now, it looks like Randro, especially with the DRS, can pressure a little bit. Oh, Gearshift Guru there with a very quick lap apparently. And there's a spin. I think that was
Oh,
Vexilled. No. Oh, is he beached?
No, I think he's waiting. Oh, he might be. No, he's got the car. Got the car moving again, but ooh, it's very slow, and that's going to lose him a bunch of time. I don't know if that was a side-by-side with Martin or not, but Martin's car seems to fine. So does Astral's. But maybe, yeah, maybe it's just a self-spin.
Yeah, it might have been.
Honestly.
I don't think Martin was in the position to attack just there, but honestly, I did not pay exact attention to that part of the track neither, so it might as well be. But yeah, re-entering safely definitely lost him a lot of time, given that he has to re-enter the track from the apex, sorta, in this position. And any ongoing car, any ongoing traffic just makes it very dangerous to enter while people are...
But you'll be happy to hear one less report. If he'd come back on and smashed into a bunch of people, that would have been a report.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Theoretically, it's a win-win as Solar closing up to Daddy now.
I don't know, man. Yeah, he just didn't kill someone. I don't know if that's like something to say. Like, nobody tells me he's proud of me for not killing anybody when I'm driving a car. It's like, yeah, he did the right thing. Good job.
I mean, you never know. I've seen some very unsafe, let's say, re-entries in the past as Astral and Martin. I think that might have been a team swap. Obviously, Martin not being the quickest at the moment, but Solo and Daddy, I think, going side by side through his corner. Yes, they are.
Yeah, for a while
I think Daddy,
yeah,
on the soft tires, maybe, but Solo's got the inside line. Yeah, and he's gonna get it done. Nice move.
Is he though?
Solo? I don't know.
Okay, Daddy backs out, but Solar, maybe Daddy just braked normally and Solar overshot because Solar ran very deep into that right-hander there. So Daddy ahead for now, but I am expecting the counter on the straight. Oof, or just a little rear end. Fortunately, no further damage done to Daddy or Solar, at least from what I can see here.
Randro making the move up to P2 as well. There's an interesting view I got from the broadcast camera. I was just sat looking at his rear wing. I know it was open, but I didn't want to see it the whole way down the street. And did he just lag back? Because I think they're ghosted inside each other. Yeah, they are. And Flavio has the DRS, so an unfortunate lag spike. Gonna put Flavio in the move for a set. Oh my god. He's just lagging around the track. He's speed lagging. What the hell?
Back here, no lag. I think Solar now has finally made it through, but he will immediately get countered by Daddy. Very nice racing going on here. You could really see the bump that Jimsky was referencing there as they went over the left side of the track, kind of jumping a little bit. It is going to be Solar in the end, being ahead after the first few turns, and yeah, Daddy sliding a little bit out of this one, losing a lot of time due to not having full tractions. Might be the softs slowly but steadily giving in.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's about time.
Oh my god, and Flavio has spun and track reset. That is going to be a tasty 5 sec. I'm sorry, bro.
And a tasty another report that we know Doom loves so much.
Nah, these are easy. There you can just say, well, you reset on track. It's like, what do you want us to analyze?
Yeah, we were speaking about the fight, the softs going off.
Oh,
and he's done it again. The tires are gone.
Oh, and he's done it again.
I think it's one more, and
it's
one more, and there's, I think, who's saying it's Phantomino? He reset track twice last season. I think it's a 10 seconds and a penalty point. Something like that. I haven't read the rule book.
I'm not entirely sure if we said that resetting is a 5 sec penalty point or a 10 sec, because accumulating a grand total of 20 seconds of time penalties is qualification of said event. So if it is a 10 sec, well, yikes. Jannemann knows the rules better than me. Us Germans, we just know to follow the rules.
Yeah, but Jannemann is basically a clone of you, so
yeah, he was just following orders.
Yeah, exactly. He was just keeping you updated. And Flavio's almost lost the car again. Speaking of, but yeah, that's opened a nice gap now for Randro to Astro, who sat in the podium places with a very nice race for himself at the minute. It's moved Mr. Genya up to P5, who's also, remember, crashed, it was in the wall in qualifying. He now finds himself in a very healthy P5.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
he's having a nice race for himself. And with a gap to Tutor.
And he's the first medium runner, so he's gonna have
True.
the advantage in the late stages of the race. And
Mr.
he
Genya
is
win?
not too far down from the soft tires.
Mr. Genya for the win?
I
that what I'm
don't think
hearing?
so, but it could be like he might get the in range of the McLarens at least. They're only 2.5 seconds away, very close together here. It's definitely possible for him to make up that ground later on. Behind him is a Tutor who has. Oh no, well, we don't know who's behind him as it's currently being battled out who is behind.
Oh,
It seems to be Tutor for now, but Glenn apparently with the overspeed here trying to make a move. First
pit as
pitter,
well.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's like you kind of have to pit very early or earlier here as Astral because you're just behind Martin and the two can't double stack at all. I think the next lap is like the ideal lap to pit.
Yeah, the undercut is huge here, but I don't know why Astral's gone onto the hard tyre. I'd say the medium from here can go to the end very comfortably as well, and he'd have good pace. I'd say he could definitely undercut Randro. So, not too sure what the decision behind that was, but obviously, as I said, undercut is worth a lot here, and if Astral can put his foot down and just speed, he might be able to get out ahead of Randro, depending when he pits. But obviously, Fantomino won't be worried by any of that happening. He's got an 8-second gap to Randro, so he's basically like Verstappen at the minute. He can call the shots of when he pits, but as I think he's going aggressive on the overtake, never mind, he's turned it off. I think he might come in this lap. Who knows? But yes, we might see Mr. Genya in the lead provisionally.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's likely going to stay out longer than runners. The question is just if he can keep his position here. It's going to be a nice little three-way battle coming along his way. I would love another camera perspective than what we've been given by Tutor here, but
Yeah, here come the soft pitters. I think
apparently
Martin
they
will
just
follow.
went through. Tutor is just going into the pits.
Mr.
Oh
Genya
my god,
as well?
yeah, so probably going for the hearts then, I'd assume.
That's a I don't know how to feel. I don't think that's the move personally. I think Mr. Genya could have extended.
Maybe it is sort of tight on the tire wear, and like a lot of people in Challenger I think are like worse comparably on managing their tires. So maybe medium hard is actually the preferred option for some.
Oh no. Mr. Genya is on the inters. There's not a single bit of rain on this track. Has Mr. Genya clicked one too far, maybe? Because you have to select the inters yourself. It's not a strategy option. We don't know what he was thinking, but oh my goodness.
Oh, he must have just fumbled it with the selection of his tires. He was in such a good position, and now he's gonna be, well, pitting again, I guess. I mean, good thing for him is he can go with the mediums to the end. He doesn't have to drive the hards, but like, at what cost?
His race,
or do you have to drive two soft two slick compounds?
I don't. To be honest, I'm sure Jimsky is in chat somewhere, and he'll be able to tell us. But yeah, the undercut certainly working for Fantomino, who's repassed Flavio, and he's got that DRS. He's having no trouble getting past those. I don't want to call them backmarks, but those cars that really should be getting past quite quickly to maintain that gap. Obviously, Randro got his teammate in front of him, and Sola, just gonna let him go. Good decision.
Flavio has been quick for sure, but of course they have the tire disadvantage. Glenn coming into the pits as well, so it seems like they're going for medium hard as well. I don't think soft is a good shout yet.
No, I'd say about lap 12, 13, you're looking at potentially for the softs, but yeah, it's a very different strategy to what we expected today. We were expecting a soft medium in terms of no safety car, But yeah, it's people have thrown that
I mean,
really array.
even the game said that the preferred strategy, or like the two strategy options, are either hard soft or medium soft. So normally the game is like saying, yeah, okay, it's medium hard, and in like realistically, it's like medium soft. But even like when the game says it's possible, it's surely well possible, right? I mean, the two Astons are still out on track, and I assume they're just going to be continuing until they can go to the softs, just as Solar is as well, and I assume Den is gonna come in for another... Actually, Den has pitted in lap 3 or something. He might try to go to the end on these.
Nothing to lose. I think go into the end on the hards. Gearshift Guru, though, will have to pit again in the last points position at the minute. But yeah, no, obviously Randro getting past Solo as well. Astral will be up next, get past Solar. I think he's going to try and extend surely and go to the soft tyres at the end. Obviously, those two do live together, so I'm sure that Astral have no worries getting past Solar. I'm not sure, but yeah, here comes Sean. I think he might be the first person to switch over to the soft compound tyre.
The battle between Astral and Solar was in fact completely avoided because Solar is coming into the pits. Let's see what he is picking for his tire of choice. There is going to be an Aston in the pits as well, just ahead. Sean going for the softs. Solar is getting the softs fitted here as well. So I assume Flavio will go for softs then soon too. And this is going to be the last one with a mandatory pit stop to do.
Yeah, that's true. But sat in second, I think he's the only one left that can go to the softs. Obviously, Sean gone to the softs. I think it'll be a bit of a push for him to get to the end. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, all the strategies will unfold, I think, in about a lap or two's time. We'll see everyone through positions, but I think everyone pitted about the same lap anyway, so not really much to gain or lose, but be interesting to see if Den can go to the end like we talked about. Obviously, pitted lap 1, and whether he can keep Deddy and Vexil behind him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit tight. Losing no position is kind of the bigger threat here, I guess. Gearshift Guru is gonna have to pit too. I assume he's just gonna come in now and go for another set of softs by his tire age here. But yeah, we may see Flavio now, last one with the mandatory pit stop coming in. Looking good. Let's look at Sean here. He is going past Vexild, as it seems. Very, very close to the inside. Not a lot of ERS to work with neither. Three super close together. All of them on relatively fresh tires, but Sean definitely on the best of the three. There's another three-way battle before them that Flavio is just going to join into.
Yeah, and having those new soft tires, he'll want to try and warm them up a lap and get past these guys as soon as possible and potentially then push that 4-second gap to Glenn. Obviously, he's still in that contention, I think, for that P7 spot. I don't think P6 is attainable. Obviously, Nitro done a solid little comeback race himself from P11. Finds himself behind Tutor at 3/10, so should be able to get him this straight if Martin can keep Tutor out the DRS, which I don't think he's going to do, actually. Tutor burnt all his energy, and unless he gets a poor exit out of here, no, he is going to get the DRS on, and we might have a 4-way battle.
We have like a 7-way battle for the last 3 point spots here. It's kind of crazy right now. They're just running into each other here with the different tires. So hopefully not running into each other on the track, but getting all bunched up here. Let's see further up. Martin taking P3 from Astral here. But the two McLarens, I think, should think better than to battle each other for P3, because they will have a lot of different things to worry about with Tutor and Nitro just behind them. Two drivers who have a pretty decent pace usually, and who are looking for a move here.
Oh, gonna cost Astral maybe another position to Tutor as well, as he's looking down the inside. Bit of wheel banging between the two. But I think, oh my god, Astro has the inside line. It just depends on the exit, and they're still going to be side by side, but I think Tutor has pulled the move off. But further back, we have a
There's
spun
spin
Haas in Daddy.
Must be Daddy,
Oh
yeah.
no.
I
be Daddy.
will
Poor
always like bet on.
Oh, Nitro.
Oh
got
my
past
god!
both of them. Oh my god. Tutor's just fully killed. I don't know. I don't want to say
They
that
just
because I'm not a
locked
referee.
wheels there. I don't know.
Wait,
I'm
I
not
comment on this sort
entirely
of thing?
sure who cut across who, but I think at a certain point you just lock wheels and then it's like, yeah, you're on the pain train towards the wall. VSC, if this takes long enough, this virtual safety car, they might at least get a cheaper pit stop. But that's certainly it for the aspirations for the podium for the two of them. Astral, no front wing at all. At least gonna have a good chunk of his in-lap taken away.
The
and
VCSC's
Tutor,
ended.
Yeah, yikes. I mean,
Astral
Tutor
will be saying karma. I can already feel it.
Tutor is like not having any end plates neither, so he has to go pit anyways. I sure hope for him that this doesn't serve his drive-through right now. And he's gonna have to go around with his broken car one more time. That's on Tutor. Okay, if you guys say so. I'll probably have to look again later anyways, so...
Didn't know if I was allowed to comment on it, so I was just staying silent. I was like, I don't know, if I speak I might be in big trouble, and I do not want to be in big trouble. But yeah, no, it looked like Tutor cut across Astral, trying to leave space for Nitro, who's ultimately profited from all the drama. He finds himself in P4, just about a second away from Martin, an 8-second gap to Glenn behind. So yeah, but it opens up that, you know, that big like 8-way fight we're talking about. More of them are going to get points now, unless Tutor and Astral can pull off an absolute masterclass. Which, as much as I love Astral, I do not think it's happening.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight for sure. I mean, they are losing a lot of time by fighting as well, and most important, up until now, where Mikey has actually made a move on Den, they were all stuck behind a Mercedes on old hards.
Yeah.
So, like, they were reasonably slowed down till that point anyways, but for Astral, if we look at it, it's 16 seconds to Solar, who is, like, sort of the last of the group here. So, yeah, that's gonna be very tight.
Yeah, I just feel the rage. I can hear the rage from being in VC with them every race last season. I can hear exactly what was being said in that voice call.
I mean, if we're lucky, he puts it in his report as well.
No, I think we all get that lucky, to be honest. But I think it's not allowed to be said on stream. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah,
Astral is fuming.
Okay. Oh, no, yeah, no, I could just tell.
Yeah,
I could just tell. Yeah, it's one of those really where I didn't get, as you said, I didn't get a proper look at it, so I can't really determine who's at fault. But yeah, both of their races over. I don't think either of them getting points, especially with Tutor still having to serve the drive-through penalty as he goes to serve now. So that is, I think, officially his race over. Astral's having to pull out a whirlwind of a performance here. And apart from that, the top three all very nicely spaced out. Then you got Nitro about a second behind.
Yeah, Nitro has been within range of Martin Steeras there briefly, but Martin has managed to open up the gap a little bit at least again. But I'm sure this fight is not entirely over yet. Caution Sector 1, not entirely sure what happened there. Maybe Tutor just re-entering the track a little bit slow from his drive-through. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like he spun.
Happens. No, in the game. But yeah, I'm very curious who this. I still think there's going to be some sort of crash here of someone's own because of the tire wear. And I mean, honestly, your probably best man for it at the minute is Den, who's very valiantly holding off Solar. As soon as I say that, we're coming to the back straight. I may have just cast a curse.
Yeah.
Den here. Solar's
at this
coming
point,
through.
You can only curse Solar, really. Like, everybody expects him to go through at some point. He has the way better tires, and I do think it was about time. You just cursed him.
But he's now cursed.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we can curse him. Maybe he just spins out now, but I think this was the expected result, and everything differing from that would be a surprise. Solar took his sweet while though, and Mikey for sure has escaped Sean as well. Is now just behind Vexilt here. Yeah, only a fight for P7, I think. Realistically, they will likely not catch Flavio on softs ahead.
Especially with the newest softs of the bunch that are pitted or have done one pit stop. I think, I don't think there's much chance. Nitro and Martin keeping about a 1.6 second gap consistently per lap. Phantom and Ranjo, I must be said, having pretty boring races. No one close enough to challenge. No one for Ranjo, no one close enough to attack. Same with Glenn, really. He had a lot of action at the start. I don't know whether it was him or Deddy that was spun around, but if it was him, he's made a hell of a recovery into P5. I think just avoiding all the further carnage has left him, I'd say, pretty good, avoiding the top collisions anyway, and yeah, doing quite well for himself in P5 at the minute. Not that I don't think he's gonna catch Nitro, but oh my god, I've almost just cursed him. He's almost just binned it. Luckily he hasn't, but it'll be interesting to see if Flavio can close up or not.
Mikey has gone through now. Nice move around the outside, barely keeping it in bounds, and it's now up into P7. Can just gain some time here, maybe get away from the others. Solar has caught up to Sean, and so has Den. Honestly, he's still at Solar's tail. Can go a decent pace here in the midfield on the old hearts, and well, a time penalty or like some sort of binning it from the drivers in front could get him back into the top 10.
Yeah, still, I think regardless, it's a mega race for Den. 15 laps on those hards from lap 1. To do that without, I think, a significant crash or a spin has to be applauded, regardless of if he finishes in the points or not. Because especially the comeback drive he's had.
Yeah, the toughest part is ahead, right? Like, the last few laps are the worst, and especially if the cars around you, you're Daddy behind, and then pretty much everyone ahead is still on relatively decent tires. Like, your hearts are getting towards the end of their lifespan, and everybody else is just A, having better tires, and B, having them in better conditions. So I'm curious to see how long he can hold on here. He's dropping out of the DRS now. I'm not sure if he dropped out of the DRS before the detection point. But of course give him I think 3/10 or something is what you gain from it. Oh yeah, definitely. If I look at the delta, getting a lot out of it.
But also, I think that's something we need to celebrate here. There's no 3-second penalties on the board at the minute, which I think has to be one of the rarest things that I've seen in a while, especially in the Challenger race. I mean, I guess China is quite a hard thing to track to cut, but as Vexilt get past Mikey again at turn 1. But yeah, still, for no driver to have a 3-second or a 5-second penalty with 2 laps to go. Oh, and Shooter's retired on track. Is that going to cause a VSC or anything? I don't think so.
I don't think anybody is nearby. I just hope his car is spawning.
+1 report inbound?
Potentially.
Who knows? But yeah, but Martin, though, very, very interestingly, closing up to the back of Martin now. I think he's just about going to miss out on the DRS this lap. But yeah, that gap has come down a lot. Come from about 1.9 to just above 1, obviously. And yeah, both flashing. So both giving it their all here for that final podium spot. So might be something to watch going into the final lap or so.
Yeah, for sure. He just needs a little bit more to get in range for a move. It's like all about getting into that 1-second window ASAP. It's 2 more laps for them. And yeah, 3/10 on each straight could help a lot to just drain the battery off Martin ahead and put him under some pressure.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, this Vexilt and Mikey still having that fight going into the final lap. It's going to be Vexilt, who are obviously on the older tyres, still behind, but he's going to have a set of DRS, and Solar still behind Sean from that battle earlier. So 2 sets of battles, Astral gets past Steady, but it's outside the points position. It's just a bit of a good fight here as they come around the final corner. I think Steady might back out here, or it's Astral to back out, in fact. But yeah, as we go round the corner, I almost said final corner, I thought it was the final lap. Ready for a final lap speech for Phantom Meanham. I had it all prepared. But no, we're on the penultimate lap. But yeah, no, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out now, especially with Sean and Solar.
Yeah, Astral is getting past Daddy here, I think. Yeah, still on good tires, so it's probably gonna be alright for him staying ahead here. Nitro has made it into the 1 second gap, and he will have DRS. Oh, he does not. He wasn't in that 1 second window at the detection point, but he sure is now. Which is gonna gain him some time through Slipstream regardless, I guess, and he will have DRS on the main straight. Of course, there is another lap, so this is really when it counts. I think you really want to make that move into the hairpin on the very last lap. And he is now within half a second, so you can just keep it close. I think this should be a possible move for him.
Yeah, something I like to say, it's not how long you've been in the podium places, it's are you in the podium places when it finishes. Because I think Martin has been in the podium places entirety of the race. Nitro, I don't know where he started. I think he started 5th. So yeah, I don't think he's even had a look in at the podium places. So if he gets it just going into the final hairpin and manages to hold it, it'll be hella impressive from him. But also one thing I think I've missed, especially Den, is really on the back of Solar now. Only 3/10 behind for the final points position. Solar really falling off there, but I think we've got to keep our attention on Nitro and Martin for now, as
there's
Nitro
a lot
will
of
have DRS.
spaces where we need our attention here. Mikey has just made it through Vexilt, as they have locked up into the hairpin early on. And going, not really going side by side there, not daring. It's Nitro now, swapping over real quick for the move for the podium. DRS active. Both of them have their battery absolutely drained, but this should be a done and dusted move for Nitro here, as he has the overspeed with the DRS. Only gonna be switchbacks not happening for Martin, and I think start finish straight is too short for a counter attack until the finish line. So
he keeps it clean.
Yeah, Nitro makes it onto the podium with Randro and Phantom Meanham, who have been pretty much isolated the entire race. Let's see back down here. Vexilt fighting for P7 here. Going deep is Mikey, is pushed off track here even a little bit. And yeah, the entire train is behind them. Going wide here on the last turn. No penalty here, this crucial thing. And yeah, then did not make it into the points in the end. Very unfortunate for him. But yeah, great efforts by everybody else who were pushing their softs considerably long for 10 laps here as well.
Yeah, brilliant race all round. Very well managed as well by Phantom and Randro at the front. And then a big shout out as well. 19 laps on the hards is a hell of a stint to do, especially all race with no one around you. But yeah, what a race we had. No safety cars as well for once. So very clean race all around. As driver of the day is going to go to Sean. Started at the back of the grid. I believe he ended up P9 with Solar in that final points position. The softs being too good. But Phantom Meanham, I think, taking his first on-track win in Formula Sundays. I might be wrong there, but I know he got a win last season in Kota.
He did get a win.
Yeah, but he's got one, I think, on track. This might be his first. And it was a comfortable one as well. 11 seconds ahead. Phantom Meanham dominance might bore fans. Who says who? Not me.
Yeah, he never said that ever, right?
No.
I don't know. No. People said Kingsman dominance might bore fans as well, and yet people watch Challenger tier, so...
It's true.
I don't know, man. It's honestly like... Fanta just had like superior strategy here. He just was able to build such a big lead and then just keep it throughout the race. He had better race pace here as well, of course, but he was just so far gone in the first stint from Randro already that it was kind of hard to compete. Also, Randro starting a little bit further down, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
P7
seventh.
he started.
I think he could have been a lot more competitive if he has been up there a little bit earlier, because he has been extremely fast last week. However, you see the results here. Fastest lap with Gearshift Guru, but of course in P14 you're not getting the extra point. And, well, I think with that, not much left to say for now. See you on the track, I guess.
Oh no!
When we'll
What
be
a stinker
back.
I'm about to have.
Hmm?
What stinker I'm about to have.
Oh well, we're about to see. But yeah,
Yes.
we're about to see, I guess, right? It's gonna be
Oh
about
yeah.
10 minutes. See ya. And it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane, and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions. Welcome back, everybody. Beat Tears coming up, and with me in the booth now is Solar again.
Yes, hi, hello. I am back. It's been a while since I've been in the booth. It was, well, I suppose, in terms of like calendar days, it's been a while, but I've only really skipped one race, which was the opener in Melbourne, because we were together for the season closing out last season, so it's good to be back.
Yeah, and you being racing now as well.
Yes.
Being enjoying yourself in a nice points finish today. So
Yeah.
Couldn't be better here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I could have got a little bit more out of that one. A few mistakes are on the closing laps when I was chasing Sean. I maybe could have gave myself a slightly better chance on those final 2 laps. I could have maybe even been past him by that final lap and gave Vexel and Mikey, something to think about. But I'll take a point out of that one. And it's a steady improvement because in Melbourne I was P11, P10 this time, so upward trend.
Yeah, by the end of the season there's gonna be the win, so yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
It was a very nice race to watch, like even like especially in your group there, you had like a lot of fights going on. It seems like this track is very well raceable side by side. Well,
Yes, yeah, it is quite a wide track. I think it's quite forgiving through most of the corners as well. Even some of the hairpins, it's quite easy to cut back. And especially, like you say, going side by side, it's quite easy to give each other a lot of room without risking track limits. Because I think Kingsman pointed it out. I was just watching some of the final laps back there, but an entire Challenger race and no one with any penalties. I did get track limits twice, but no penalties right throughout. It says a lot.
I mean, apart from the 1-2 big incidents, it was like a very clean and enjoyable race. I don't know. Reading Mikey in the chat as well there, like, yeah, great performance, honestly. I thought you were here last week as well, but it is a good debut then, well in the points. It seems like we have a very good upper midfield going on in the middle of Challenger there. And of course, Monsieur Genier here, who is driving the Alpine here, after he slipped with a thumb and pitted for Inters instead of Hearts and kind of thrown away his own race. He would have been well in that group as well. So
very unfortunate for him.
Curious to see if we can at least get a decent performance out of this race here. We're on board with Kingsman, who has just been in the casting booth to set the first lap of this qualifying. And if I can believe him, we are expecting low 130s by the end of it. However, given that it's cloudy, track might be a little cold, so not optimal conditions. Not sure how much that factors in. Also, like, I don't know if it's just the game sometimes not loading correctly, but is that raindrops?
Ooh, I can't tell. No, maybe I'll tell if I can go direct on board. No, I don't think so quite yet.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes I'm hallucinating them, but yeah. Maybe there is gonna be rain, maybe there isn't. There is at least 4 drivers who are not super eager to get out on track yet, so I assume it's not an urgent thing you have to do because there is rain incoming. But yeah, Kingsman gonna set the first example here. 131.6 is decent. I think would have been P3 in Challenger. And
yeah, sounds about right.
If I'm not mistaken, we're gonna see the real benchmark in a bit though. Rapid is about to cross the start-finish line as well.
Yeah, and it does. It looks fast. It looks very, very fast. It is a 1:34 as well. Wow. Again,
just
I mean,
behind,
we've said this before, we'll say it again. Yeah, Jimsky really not far off, 400s off of that one, but we do tend to look too rapid for those sort of benchmarks of what we should be expecting from Challenger. He's normally the one to beat.
Yeah, on one lap, I think Rapid is
at least in
definitely,
qualifying, yeah.
Player favorites. I think he even said it like that the main I wouldn't say drawback, like, but from the top ends that he is used to from other leagues, the main difference here is that people can't match one lap pace. The rest, I mean, yeah. In the 3 seasons he's been around, he's only had 1 championship, if I'm not mistaken, so he's clearly not winning everything easily by himself. Of course, the last one didn't drive much, and was like very unfortunate the season before, I think.
When he was, exactly. At times when he was on the track, he did find himself in a few incidents, and I think last season as well was a very strange one where it seemed like most of the time the lead runner in a race would then come into some sort of trouble, and next thing you knew, Seagull was first across the line, having just played a safe race from like P3 or P4 or something like that, and next thing you know he'd won. And it was Seagull in the end, and he just managed to keep himself out of trouble. Where, I mean, don't get me wrong, Seagull usually has really, really strong pace, and he's always going to be at the top end. But I would argue again that he's maybe not the fastest, but he is one of the most intelligent drivers that we have in the league.
Seagull is like just very calm-minded, has a good pace. I think he is. I'm not sure if his time trials are the second best, but I think like from race pace and stuff, he is slightly ahead of Jumsky. I'm not sure where to put Hussein in the mix here, but maybe
because he's another one that's sort of in the rapid sort of conversation.
I think
where
he's
he
like
is
inconsistent. Sometimes he's like really on Rapid's level and bang on good, and sometimes he's just like in P5 and just hanging around there, not really anywhere. But yeah, curious to see where he can go tonight here, as he is about to set his first hot lap. Purple sector 1, but I guess in this game this doesn't really mean too much.
the Encha is invalidated. Let's try to figure out who's in.
Yeah, I think that
Mofawa,
makes Hussein
maybe
the only one even on a hot lap. Mofa was
it
would
looks
have
like
had,
he's in a lot of or he's used a decent amount of ERS. No, he's low on fuel.
yeah, I was
sure.
about to say, like, he has set a lap time. I don't think you have time to be on your second run already. Probably on his in lap then. He's gonna give Hussein at least
One
somewhat
hell
of
of
a
a tow,
tow.
yeah. Right down that sort of main straight in Sector 3. Sector 3 I found to be the trickiest to really pick up some time, because you've got that really sharp left-hander into the long right, massive DRS straight, and then that hairpin back, and it's so easy. You get like a really good time out of that whole section, and then just that last quick left-hander, it's so easy to get track limits just in that last sort of turn before you touch the DRS again. 1 and 2 for me was easier to pick up time on, but for me, I would always it was Sector 3 that I would lose time.
Yeah, the right-hander is, I can remember it from like old games, it's so hard to keep traction out of there, because you really like almost have to step fully on the pedal to really get going there. And it's like with the slight banking and stuff, it's just not easy to keep your car yeah, fully under control there. And yeah, if you just like, if you have to lift or like let go of steering and stuff, you lose so much time. Same with like
And
the
sure,
very
looks
last
like
turn.
she's pushing on low fuel.
Yeah. And just gonna set her first lap here, I think. Driving additional after the ballot. Time's not looking horrible, I think, but it's gonna be 1.5 seconds behind the pace, maybe. Oh yeah, pretty much exactly. So
Yeah.
10th
Bam.
for her for now.
You've been at the fortune tellers recently, Doom. That was pretty spot on there. Just what, 200s out in terms of prediction there. Well, I mean,
Yeah, next time I'll predict it on thousands. Don't
018.
worry.
Yeah. Just don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, or people are going to think that we're, making it up. Or it was a lucky guess. You need to like build them into the what seems unbelievable, but with that level of consistency and getting it right, they just start to believe it by that 1000th.
Jimsky is not on the quickest hot lap. I'm not even sure if he is still going. I think he has just... Oh, he's going. He's not gonna improve much. Probably gonna dive straight back into the pits. Well, what else is going on? Nitro is on another
Purple
hot lap
sector
here.
one from
Oh,
Rapid again.
Okay.
It's only by less than 1/10 of a second, but it was still purple.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rapid can go like 2 to 3 tenths quicker here on a perfect lap for him, and maybe. So yeah.
Purple
That's-
sector 2, he's 1/10 up.
Okay. Not sure if you can go into the 29s here even, but we may see.
If anyone can do it, it's going to be Rapid.
Yeah. Not sure where Seagull is. Seagull might be coming in towards the end of his hot lap as well. Gonna swap to him after Nitro's done here. Nitro up to P14. Seagull with a purple sector 2. Not sure if it's like an actual purple.
130.1 Rapid. Good God.
Yeah, that is more like...
That's 3 purple sectors as well, because that was a whole near 3/10s gain. He was only about 1/10 up by sector 2, so absolutely smashed that entire thing out of the park.
Seagull is looking more like something towards the 31 flat. Oh, actually, no, it's looking way better. E2 for him here, just behind Jimsky. Had a very good last turn here. Almost not losing any speed, taking the curbs. So, oh, who else is going? Janeman is probably going to come into the pits here. He has improved before this lap though. Kingsman has improved slightly, he's now P6. Emils I still expect some slight improvement from, even though the first time was a good benchmark regardless. Butcheroo here is gonna go into the pits. What is with Cherry? Is that enough for ERS? I don't think he's on a hot lap anyway, so... Who to watch?
Hard to tell, honestly.
I think he has too little ERS to be on an actual hot lap. That's 0.2 down, so yeah, maybe. He's made some sort of mistake. I mean, there's yellow flags up ahead. If those go away, be cool. Okay, 4 minutes of a timer. I'm not sure if it's just better at this point to go into the pits one more time and then just start fresh. Oh yeah, he will, absolutely. He's on full throttle and he's 160 kilometers per hour. He's probably out of fuel, so yeah, that's gonna be the move for him. What is Engineer doing here?
He's
Invalid lap.
invalidated. Yeah, I think the only one now that is on a or about to be on a push lap anyway.
Yeah.
Looks to be Emil. He's come out the pits. He's now on an out lap.
Yeah, Cherry is going in.
Oh.
There is a Ferrari
Encha ahead
that
of him.
is that's Jimsky actually. That's,
Hussein, Jimsky, Hussein. Then it'll be Tiencha and then Emil.
yeah, Mofa also just started a hot laps now in turn 2.
Oh yes, so he has. Fair enough.
But yeah, I think
I'll keep an eye
we
on
have not
him.
seen
You're right.
Jimsky yet. Probably having better chances. Well, I don't know if he has good chances of improvement, but he's definitely got work to do to cover against
Bala's
Seagull.
got to improve if he keeps
Oh, I
it
think-
up. He's already gained 2.5 tenths on his own time, so
Yeah,
if he
Jimsky
keeps on with that.
has abandoned his lap after slipping away on the exit of turn 2.
Bala looks at least set to go above Nitro, but not enough. Oh, it's very much enough to break into 131s now, and could well go ahead of Lauda. It's over half a second up.
May see. Rapid has just retired. Probably
He's-
lost
yeah,
it
he's done
somewhere.
enough.
Or is he just in the pits? Okay,
He's
never
just
mind.
in the pits. He's more than done enough, I think, for pole.
Yeah, 130.1 is pretty crazy lap, honestly, for 2 attempts.
But the same gap that Fanta had to the Challenger grid, really. Very similar.
Alpha? Oh, 0.9
Oh,
improvement. Yeah, huge.
And improving up to P11, a 131.4.
Emil's is down by 0.04 after the first sector, but that's not too horrible. Very crowded behind him. There's a bunch of people who are just starting their outlaps. So maybe good to get that out of the way right now.
Tiencha's down on her time by about a tenth of a second. If she can get a good final sector here, she may be able to make that up. Still really got to make up about 2.5, nearly 3 tenths to gain any positions for the center grid. And that seemed a little bit tight coming through that hairpin. Yeah.
Let's
That's
go into the pits, right?
yeah, looks like it. Nearly ploughed into the wall on her way in. Emil is up. He's now managed to pull back about a tenth.
And he's gonna cross
Could
the
put him in
line.
the 130s. Yeah, it is in the 130s. 2
Good.
tenths and up to P6 from about P10, I believe.
Yeah, just behind Janeman
What
again. No,
happened
no,
that
he
one?
was in P9. What? He was behind Switcheroo. He had a
Yes, he was,
131
yes,
flat.
right.
So, yeah. Oh well, who is still out? Oh, Hussein is a second down. And out of fuel. That is pain. But at least he's in P4 for now. I think he's not going to be too unhappy with it. Jimsky a 10th down after the first sector. But still on the run. Genscher retired in the pits, I assume.
Yep, looks like it. Invalidation from Switcheroo. But he does have, it must have been early on, 'cause he's got a lot of ERS, so he's throwing it round to see if he can get anywhere, but I don't think he's going to have time. Yeah, no. Switcheroo is done. There's a Ferrari coming round pretty fast.
Yeah,
I
both
think
of
it's
them are.
Nitro.
Yep, Nitro
Yeah, that'll be
and
next to the
Jimsky
line.
just behind as well.
And then Alfa Romeo possibly behind Nitro. Nitro. Oh, he does improve. P12. A 0.8 improvement from him there. Alfa Romeo up to the line. Couldn't tell who it was, but no improvement. Jimsky, no
10th down for
improvement either.
Jimsky. Seagull is currently 7 thousandths up after Sector 1.
Perry's going to be next across the line, and he's 2.5 tenths up.
Oh, Jimsky 1.5 tenth, Seagull 1.5 tenth down, so not really looking great for catching Jimsky unless he gets a stellar last sector. Who's that ahead of him? Oh, it is Emil's.
Right.
He is
Does
getting the toe.
improve this time.
Seagull. Yeah, just gets a nice little toe there down the back straight.
Janneman
Just,
possibly up to the line next.
oh yeah. Can improve as well with just a minor
And
improvement.
Does. He goes ahead of Hussein.
Seagull
136.
invalidated. But he was 6,000 down as well,
shame.
so it wouldn't have mattered. Kingsman did slightly improve, I think. And with that, I think we're through.
Yeah, we do have our grid, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, very, very tight qualifying behind Rapid, of course.
Yeah.
Like the biggest gap
I
is
mean-
really between Seagull and Janneman in the front. Which
You're
is
looking
not
at
even
a
too
second
tense, right?
between
Yeah,
P2 and P15 there.
yeah.
And 5/10 between P2 and P9. So, yeah, it was a very hotly contested qualifying there, but to no one's surprise, if you've been around long enough and watched any Sunday's Esport elite races, then Rapid topping the table in qualifying is not particularly surprising.
Well. It is Rapid, Jimsky, Seagull, as so often, and then followed by Janneman and Hussein, as so often. Emil's like more and more cementing his place there in the top few guys, and Kingsman, honestly, yeah, I don't know, man. He's been coming out of Challenger as the Challenger tier champion last season and really been up to speed immediately. Witcheroo, newcomer here in P8, and then we have Marcia in the second AT and Lauda in the second Aston Martin. Good results for their teams, respectively. Oh, yeah. Formation Lab is on, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna have that in a bit. Oh, gonna give us a little bit of time to maybe think about strategies that apply here. Honestly, Challenger tier has been all over the place with medium hard, hard soft, medium soft. Like we pretty much had everything.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is gonna be the same for Elite. If I'm not mistaken, yes, the tire life is like scaled down for shorter distance, but
Yeah.
it's scaled a little bit less than the race distance.
Yeah, of
So
course.
the longer the race goes, the more potential pit stops you have to make.
Yeah, because I mean, when I was practicing anyway, the mediums felt really good, and I actually maybe could have extended them a lap or two longer. When I was out and I made them go, I think about 11 laps. In what was a 20 lap race, and the softs felt really, really nice in that second, stint. I caught up to the pack quite nicely, and very much there was an opportunity to maybe pass a couple more drivers than I did. But Rapids on the mediums, Jimsky's on the hards, Seagull on the hards, Janneman's on the hards, Hussein hards, Meals hards, Kingsman's mediums, Switcheroo mediums. It's going to be mediums for Marcel Jan, hards for Lauda.
Yantra
We've
the
got-
only one here really starting on softs. Everybody else relatively evenly split on medium and hards, I would say. Maybe slightly more hards.
Yes, it looks like it.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Rapid, of course, has a big advantage here in the early race on his mediums. Everybody behind him, up until Kingsman, starts on hards. And yeah, for Kingsman, Switcheroo, Marseillan, it's just about who can get through the hard tire wall, I guess, the quickest. They have an advantage technically, but I don't know if they have the pace to really like compete. with the top guys, even if they are on the slightly better tire. Be curious or interesting to find out. So the game says medium soft or hard medium. It did actually say the same thing in Challenger. Was it even a stretch to go soft medium? Because it did look like you were at least forced to drive the softs for a bit longer than you would have liked.
I think I would have liked to maybe have gone mediums, probably a lap or two more, but I did just feel like I was losing that little bit too much time, because I think the indicator that I had, especially I realized it as I came back out the pits, was Mikey had gone into the pit maybe just a second or two ahead of me, and then by the time I came out the pit, I'd lost, like a lap later, I'd lost about 3 seconds to him. So the mediums do end up dropping off quite rapidly. They feel good for a while, but once they hit that point, it is a steep cliff down.
Yeah.
Whereas the softs, they ran for the 9 laps. It probably did help that we had that virtual safety car even just briefly, but they ran quite nicely, and I never felt at any point, even though, as you could see, I was, battling with a few guys when I got onto those softs. I was, having to fight my way back up through the pack.
Well. It is lights out though, and we're going away. Let's see what Rapid can do on the start. I think he gets away very nicely on his medium tire there. A little bit of a positional change there. There is Jannemann on the inside, trying to make a move on Jimsky already, but he can't quite make it stick here. He's going to have the outside line for the second part of this turn. He's going to lose the position to Seagull again. Kingsman is already through. Hussein and Emils attacking further up now, but Hussein with a counter there, locking really with Jannemann, and
Hussein.
there's the spin.
Almost come back on track.
Yeah, that is a huge little pile up there, but I think nobody really got any significant damage, right?
No, it didn't look like there was any significant damage, but it was just a shame that, Hussein lost it.
Yeah.
Before he could get his car back under control, came back on track and kind of boxed Emils in, who's come off.
Oh my god, and there is an Aston in the wall, Lauda with the DNF.
Lauda.
There must have been some sort of contact. This did not look natural, and we might have a safety car here, but honestly the race might just go on. Yeah, the car already despawned. Really unfortunate for the Aston Martins here in the early stages of the race there. I don't know, it just looked mega scuffed like that. Sometimes the nose gets stuck under the rear light if you're like following very closely, and it looked like Hussein just snapped out of that towards the side and then just collided, got kicked onto the gravel, and unfortunately spun right onto the apex. So yeah,
I think it was Kingsman that he appeared to bounce off of. It wasn't McLaren, and I don't think Cherry was as far up the grid to have been the one to have contact
it must have
with.
been.
So it must have been Kingsman that he's bounced off of, who doesn't appear to be carrying any visual damage, but of course you only really see it on the front and the rear wing, so he may have some sort of side pod issue, possibly.
I don't know. I don't think the
speculation.
contact was like mega heavy, so it looked like it did go okay, at least like in the damage side of things. But of course, yeah, it's been quite a horrible start for some of the hard runners in front there. Hussein and Emils all the way down in 16 and 17. Jannemann is down
Nitro's
to 8th.
had to pit as well, so clearly he was in some involvement, because he did make some he did place relatively well in qualifying. I think it was P11. I think he was by the end of that session or somewhere around there. So he must have got caught up in some ways with that Hussein incident as well. And you'd imagine with how far back he is, at the very least, has had to change his front wing.
I know that Nitro was actually full stopping on that incident, so I think he crashed into something and just had to stand there for a bit. Let's see, Jannemann is getting very close to Mr. Mouse here, who's locking up. Slight contact as well. Game now saying hard medium or medium medium hard is the strat. I mean, Rapid is just enjoying his time here in P1. Switcheroo seems to be having quite decent race pace here on the mediums as well. Might be able to attack with DRS now. Yannemann is trying to go up the inside of Mr. Mouse here, the last week's race winner, I think. On his debut, well, also through the time penalty mess that happened. Maybe he was winning on track and then time penalties demoted him. I can't quite remember right now. He was very far up though, so yeah, he's been overtaken by Yannemann now, but will surely try to cling onto the AlphaTauri here to get further up the ranks.
Do now have DRS, of course, and we are going to see the first instance of it here. It'll be Switcheroo with DRS on Seagull, and a bit of a train farming behind Mr. Mouse all the way down to Furious Stoney. And the only other person to have would be Gearshift Guru, Mr. Janier. We might see some overtakes happen just into this hairpin down the end.
Yeah, Gensha's going past Mofa.
Yeah, Mofawa, yeah.
And I think
Gearshift's just
Fanta
gained
has just
two.
made it past Donny as well.
Gearshift did gain 2 places, but he appears to have sent it deep, and Cherry reclaims that place back. Emil back up to P13 following the incident that had him held up and down in what I believe was P17 at one point. And he's now made it up to P12, showing some significant race pace at the moment, but how hard is he punishing those hard tires to get there is a question that is yet to be answered.
Hussein is just stuck in that group there, very far down, and that just, I don't know, it looks like he has so much more pace, but he just can't make it past. He has now managed to get past Monsieur Genier here, who is not going for the move up the inside, rightfully so there. This turn just a little bit too tight to send one there. So yeah, Hussein up to 16th. Emils has managed to get back up to 12th in the meantime. Yannemann has closed up to Kingsman in P6 here, so he might be getting closer to the top group
looking
there.
for a move down the inside of Seagull here, and Seagull right on the back of Jimsky. Sticks it down the inside, tries to force Seagull around wide, but ends up taking that almost too tight, and Seagull with the better exit manages to keep his place as DRS on the back of Jimsky.
Another try might be coming through there. It was definitely a bit of a mega lockup for both of them there, costing them some time into the hairpin. So super close here in these snaky little turns there in the start. Depending on what line you take, on where you apply the throttle a little bit more harder, it can be very easy to just rear end each other. So yes, always scary to go through there so close together.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where if you are too wide, your racing line, not obviously the racing line, but the path that you're taking, as you come round that long right-hander and into the quick left, it's like your paths cross over. If you've taken, the right-hander tighter, then it's going to be a very quick into the left. Where if you've taken that first one wider, then you're almost like meeting at a perpendicular angle in that one. It's one that you've really got to be careful as you navigate through and try to make a pass.
There has been a spin apparently. Tiensha causing the yellow flag back there, rejoining onto the track now as Yannemann further down the straight takes P6 from Kingsman and is now behind his teammate there. Marcellian here on the different strategy, of course, with the medium tire, but Yannemann seems to have good pace on these hards anyways. He has been able to overtake Kingsman and Mr. Mouse without too much trouble, even though it took him a lap or two to get past Kingsman. Now back up to P6 and slowly but steadily recovering from his earlier incident. I think he spun as well, right? Where Hussein spun.
Emil.
Janneman.
Sorry. Yeah, Janneman. Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. I feel like he was in some ways involved, but I don't think he was affected as much.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, we know Janneman's pace. We know that he qualifies well as well. So I do think he got caught up in a little bit, but I'm struggling to remember. It's Emil and Hussein that I really and Nitro that I really took note of at the time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, looking at that is Donny in the wall and resetting on track as far as the minimap indicates.
Yeah, no front wing there.
Virtual safety car. Is that an opportunity to hit already for some people?
And Mr. Junior gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC.
That is not cool. Pit lane very long here, costing you a lot of time. I think this must be one of the longest pit stops, right? You lose like 28 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of time. I mean, I was running quite far back at the start, and in that first wave of pit stops, all of a sudden I'd find myself, I think, P5 or P6. So it's a long old pit lane there, and it's very, very unfortunate for Mr. Junior, who opts not to do it now, but he will, of course, be limited by time, and he'll only be given, I think, about 5 laps, I believe.
3.
3 laps, sorry, yeah. Right enough, to complete that drive-through penalty, or he will be disqualified.
It has happened last week. Oh my god, Mr. Mouse with another drive-through as well for speeding under VSC. Coming out of the pits even, I think. Or is he in the pits? I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, Donny is in the pits right now.
Yeah, he was just, I assume, trying to make some sort of headway to catch up to the back of the pack. All of a sudden, Nitro is in some ways back in this race for a competitive run at things more than anything else. He's all the way down in P18, but Donny now in his sights at the very least gives him something to aim for in the next 20 or so laps. We are back under normal racing conditions. Jimsky, Siegel and Switcheroo still battling for that P2 position. Front 2 holding on to the hard tires, Switcheroo on the mediums, and you would have thought he'd get past by now, because those mediums will start to suffer a little bit more than the hards, and it'll be easier for Jimsky and Siegel to hold him off.
I think they gained a little bit on Rapid due to the VSC ending. Fortunate timing. Jimsky and Siegel, I think they were like more than 2 seconds away before, but now 1.4. Yeah, looks like it helped them a little bit.
Mr. Junior coming through for his drive-through penalty.
Yep. Meals.
And Mr. Mouse, they're both serving theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be way back there with Donny and Nitro then in a bit, I guess. As of right now, I think Meals could be making a move soon here, especially if Mofa loses DRS to Fanta.
He's just about sneaking back into it, but by that detection zone, will he still have it? Yeah. Oh, there's a little snap there from Mofawa. Just coming round out of that left-hander and into the right. He is going to get DRS. Maybe, fortunately so, but Emil is right on his tail. And may think about a move down the inside. It's not going to happen, Emil.
So hard.
Knows better.
So hard to overtake just with like several cars in a DRS train, even though the straight is so long, but all the speed he gains, Mofawa is gaining too. Might have another chance here, but I think start-finish straight is generally a little bit harder to overtake.
Yeah. It's just giving you a sort of launch pad for these next two turns. Emil goes down the inside of turn 1, catches a little bit too much curb, loses a little bit too much speed, and Mofawa does stay ahead for the time being. Again, this battle for P2 has got a little bit interesting. Seagull slipping up above Jimsky.
Yeah, they have lost a bit of time to Rapid again. Now back to about 2 seconds. Comfortable cushion for Rapid here. I'm not entirely sure who of the AlphaTauris is quicker right now. Given that they stay in this order, it's probably safe to say that at this point Marcian on the mediums still has the advantage. They're losing out about 4/10 per lap to this group from 2nd to 4th.
Marcel Jan swings out wide to allow Janneman through, who will, you'd imagine, be pitting later.
Yeah.
And if you can get him through, get him, caught back up to that front pack. Kingsman in a world of his own here. 4 seconds behind, 6 seconds ahead, and just having a rapid type race, but from P7.
Yeah, sorta. Hussein has made it up to P10 again.
Mofawa into the pits as well.
Oh yeah, probably, well, that was the overtake that I thought I've seen, but it was really just Mofawa into pits here. But yeah, Hussein now on track right behind Emils, as it was after the incident, and now in 9th and 10th. Yeah, there's still like a good bit away, I guess. Emils has Fanta immediately ahead, but then it's just 6 seconds to Kingsman, another 4 for the 2 AlphaTauris, and then another 5 to the top. It's 15 seconds really that they haven't really recovered yet. Of course, it's gonna be hard to recover by the pace the top guys are going. Let's see. Switcheroo could be in for taking a P3 here, at least for now. Be moving a little bit to the inside and bending that. Switcheroo really like breaking onto the grass almost. Almost lost the car there. Has the tire advantage, I guess, for now. In later stages of the race, of course. That's gonna be Seagull's and Jimsky's advantage on the mediums. So it's probably safe to say that mediums are gonna be around 11-12 laps and hards like 16-ish.
It's in the background of just still on the meal. I've just seen Cherry save a wee snap coming out the final corner there, just down in the distance. With that sort of swap, I see Marcel Jan's back in front of Janneman now.
Yeah, I don't know. They maybe have tried and have. I'm not sure if they are. Thought they were, but they might not be. But yeah, maybe they just tried having Janneman in front and weren't really quicker. I mean, they have lost another second or so.
Kingsman looks to have made a mistake at some point because he's lost about a second either way.
Yeah.
I think the AlphaTauris, all things considered, and looking at the teams in front of them, constructors-wise anyway, and be quite satisfied with where they are at the moment.
Yeah, what is that? That's like 10 and 8 points. Wait, 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8. Yeah, so 18 points, I guess, is about as good as what Seagull is getting.
Yep. Red Bull set to gain 20 as it stands. 25 for Mercedes. And it sort of dwindles off from there. So AlphaTauri would be the third highest scorers with the way things stand.
So Emil's, I don't know, it feels like he has been eyeing with Fantas Rare for quite a while, but these two of course know each other very well from the Challenger tier. I've been racing there together. So yeah, not quite much of a move happening here. Tianche only now pitting, 11 laps on the softs there. Goes to the hards, is probably gonna go to the end on these as well.
You very much imagine so, but it does leave her plumb last of the remaining runners. Of course, we lost Lauda relatively early on.
Yeah, lap 1 even, I think. So yeah, I mean Tianche is probably gonna catch some people who will be pitting at some point again, but for now, very much alone further back. The AlphaTauris have swapped positions once more. It is now a 6-second gap to Switcheroo. Gap is just continuously growing here. I think at this point we might be at the point where the mediums are just not better than the hards anymore. Kingsman even going into the pits as the first of the medium runners. Probably gonna take that hard tire as well. Cherry, first corner cut time penalty we've seen today at all.
Yeah.
There were none in Challenger, so
What league is this?
yeah, right. Elite is the real Challenger. But yeah, what else there to watch? Rimsky, Seagull, Switcheroo have been running like that pretty much for the entirety of the race. Niels and Fanta have just been chilling together for the last 10 laps or so as well.
Yeah.
Marcian really dropping behind Janeman now. I assume there's going to be a pit stop coming by the end of this lap here.
You would think so, just on that sort of medium tires, he might look to change things up, and it might even just give him a little bit of clear air, to be honest, to really get his head down, make use of the tires, and not shred them up too much.
I think right now he's profiting from the slipstream. He's used a lot of ERS to get back into the DRS of Janeman. To not lose that extra time. Switcheroo now in the pits. I think, yep, Marcian is going as well. And that makes Rapids the last of the top runners who is still on the mediums. Gearshift Guru, actually the other one who is still out on the mediums. And he's gonna stay out another lap as well. The Mercedes on a similar strategy apparently. So from what I've heard, undercut pretty OP on this track.
Yeah.
So,
It certainly seemed like it.
yeah.
I fell victim to that one at times.
Might just be good to pit a little earlier.
Yeah, but we are halfway through this race now, and still a lot of runners on the tire that they started with.
Yeah, I mean
About half the grid, in fact.
Yeah. Everyone who started on hard, even there was no major safety car thing, still running, of course. It's gonna be very interesting as soon as they come in. I feel like the window for hards is like a little bit wider. You can extend a little bit more, or like go in as early, I think, as in well, the next 1 to 3 laps, I guess, for the mediums. Also interesting is going to be the long distance battle. Rapid is staying out, and Switcheroo was only 2 seconds behind. So,
Emil finally got past Fanta.
I was about to say, and we missed it.
Yeah, just down the inside of that hairpin, following the long DRS straight, finally makes its way through. And they've ended up gaining a bit of company as a result in the form of Hussein and Switcheroo.
Yeah,
But
Switcheroo, of
probably
course.
good timing that Emil got through when he did.
Switcheroo has to go through ASAP, of course, for his undercut against Rapid. And so far, he has not really been held up by these guys, but now is do or die for him.
It's
Hussein
past
is
Hussein
just
already.
backing out there, knows that he has enough to defend for. And I think Fanta and Emil's likely fall victims on the back straight as well, if earlier. The group difference is clearly visible. Switcheroo has so much more speed here. Probably trying to overtake the Haas on this straight already, so you just get by with DRS past Emil's here. And this was probably, honestly, like, best possible scenario for Switcheroo. He didn't lose so much time there on the overtakes. He's even gonna get a nice little DRS activation out of this in the end.
Yeah, let's say, I mean, incredible first lap on the first full lap, I suppose, on those hard tires. Emil is almost looking to come back.
Rapid could be going for the softs here.
I reckon so. He's lost about 2/10, 4/10 now. I think the tires are definitely starting to lose their grip. I did notice coming out of the hairpin about a lap ago, just from that third sector, he did seem to lose it a little bit. So they're not
how
quite
much
as
time
grippy.
do you lose again in pits? Because it's only 22 seconds here. If it was really like 28 or something, what we said earlier, not sure if it is really that. But like then Rapid has a lot to do on his softs.
Yeah, because Switcheroo has made some significant gains forward. Jimsky coming out in P5 is also a very good first stint from him on those hard tires.
Only got Emil's ahead of him, who he's gonna make light work of on the back straight. So just gonna get some nice DRS out of it as well, and then he's almost at Switcheroo's rear again, which is pretty much just where you want to be now with the tire advantage. Don't pass the inside here. Doesn't even wait the slipstream on the straight. Just goes. Superior traction there. And both Rapid and Seagull coming in for their last stop now. What will they pit for? I can imagine Seagull goes for the mediums. I do think Seagull mediums, and Rapid is actually getting the softs here for finals. Bold strategy by the leading car, I guess. Nobody else went for the soft medium.
Jimsky. Oh, he is going to get ahead of Rapid. Rapid try to hold it down the inside. Oh, it's going to be close. And Jimsky just edges him out. Yeah. Forces him onto that.
Yeah, a little
wide
bit
part of the track.
Yeah. Very tight there with the top guys, and now we have a wild mix of tires as well. Of course, Rapid has to be mindful at least a little bit of the tire. 12 laps, I think, is what it's going to be in the end on the softs. Well possible, but the last few laps are going to be quite, ass. And the medium runners here, Jimsky, Seagull, can of course push way more freely. With their tires. Switcheroo in P1 right now. I think he's gonna fall soon as well, as both Jimsky and Rapid have DRS here. And
you would imagine that those hards will come good towards the end of the lap if you can, keep in that fight. But you do favour the three cars behind him as it stands to get ahead. Still, Rapid's got a lot of work to do to stay on those softs for as long as he's planned to.
Well, Jimsky with the fastest lap here on his second lap. I imagine, if Rapid is let free, similar things would follow from him. Rear-ending Jimsky here once. taking a little bit more speed through that turn, going around Jimsky on the outside.
Oh, very nice move from Rapid.
Yeah, Jimsky just has to slot in behind immediately now. So scary if Rapid can come through and Jimsky can't immediately follow. Big exit coming out by Rapid. Jimsky trying to go through, but pushed a bit wide as well. Switcher with the DC, it seems. And, well, I'm gonna just toss him another invite real quick. But that really comes at an unfortunate... I still don't see him.
He stands
Really?
to lose about 3 places there.
Maybe I just don't have him added, honestly. Well, that's pain, because I didn't invite him to this session either. Well. Yeah, that's pain for him, of course, but at least these few positions he would have lost regardless.
Maybe a little bit earlier than you'd have imagined.
Yeah, it's just a matter about how what's happening. I don't know, my guy. Like, oh wait, I'll grab my phone. Trying to get him in again. So, while I am trying to establish a contact, I get back here, Yanama. Switcheroo.
Yep.
The top 3 far away in the distance for Yanaman still. I mean, given that he has found himself in P10 or something by the end of the first lap, quite a decent recovery drive, as so for Hussein and Emils.
Yeah, P8 and P9 on new mediums, and there's the fastest lap from Rapid as well.
Oh, there we go.
1:33 on the board with soft tires and less fuel than he ultimately started with.
Zach Switcheroo re-invited, so hopefully, I mean, yeah, damage is done, I guess, for his top 3 aspirations, but there's still good points up for grabs. Could have probably re-invited quicker if... I don't even know how... He did race last week. Don't know how he got in without having me added, but hey. Yeah. Moves right now, Tianxia, maybe? Tianxia is pushing onto Gearshift Guru here. I'll give another invite out. And what do we have up here? I mean, Rapid at this point seems almost clear. He has the better tires, unless he drives them to the ground, which is not a thing that Rapid usually does. I think he's quite decent on handling tires. Maybe not top of the league in that regard, but definitely good enough to keep them alive until the end of the race.
Switcheroos now appears to have lost out on Marcel Jan as well. And Donny and Mr. Mouse having just come in recently, both on soft tires. but just a couple gaps forming. Not it won't be an awful lot of DRS as the next few laps go on. It'll be Seagull on Jimsky, and they're gonna have to get past a back marker or two here very shortly. In Donny, but Rapid of course having to navigate that as well. The only other person in any form of DRS range at this point is Tiencha on Gear Shift Guru.
Yeah.
And they've got nearly a full lap before they get round to that sort of movement. Seagull now looking for the DRS. He is closing in on Jimsky. He's going to make it look easy. Jimsky not going to fight that one. Can take the battle to another part of the track. He will get the return of DRS back on Seagull as they come
Seagull,
down the pit straight.
Seagull just about out of range of the DRS for Rapid, who has lost a sizable amount of time there. I think almost like 0.8 or something. As he did also majorly lock up into the hairpin. And Seagull all of a sudden now back in DRS range if he can keep this distance throughout the entire lap. Not sure if Donny's going to be an issue there. He's on fresh softs as well. So he should be sort of quick, but of course Rapid is Rapid on alright softs still. Maybe this is just going to give Rapid an easy out for one lap here. If he gets DRS down the back straight from the back marker.
It's also a very viable possibility coming in here. It looks like the gap might just be too much. I can't really tell, but I suppose I'll have to go on board with Rapid and find out. I just think it's a little bit too far away. I don't think he will have got it. So he will be at Seagull's mercy here coming to the DRS. Yeah, he is. There's no DRS here for Rapid, but there's plenty for Seagull, and Jimsky's got to keep pace. Seagull going down the inside, and again makes it look easy. A little bit of a lock-up from himself.
It looks very... I don't know if Rapid has like any like minor damage that we don't see or something, because he's just bleeding time, or he has bled time in this past lap.
I think maybe even just a lock-up has done a number on his tyres. He's still keeping touch, but I wonder if he's just trying to nurse the tyres a little bit longer and waiting another couple laps before really pushing away again. But time will tell in that regard. And still these back markers ahead. But still very, very close, but Jimsky's right within touching distance as well. Hussein has caught up to the back of Kingsman, so we may well see a move come of that in not too much longer of a time. And Tiencha did eventually get past Gear Shift Guru as well.
Yeah, and Seagull just seems... I mean, in the middle sector, of course, it's easier to get away a little bit. You have the dirty air disadvantage. Hindering you than helping you compared to the straights, the slipstream. Oh, there is a yellow flag as Donny has spun out into the wall. I mean, you can make way for the leaders that way as well, I guess.
Some way to do it.
But yeah. Super close together here, the three. I don't know if this is just a game not working properly on the lockup display, but they either lock up into every hairpin, or it's just not working.
I think it is the game, because it seems like it's every single hairpin. I was thinking that myself in the Challenger race. I think it was maybe Mikey quite a lot. I was saying, he's locking up a lot, but I do just think it's a bug with the hairpins, as Donny is quite simply had enough. He's gone to the pits. He's not making any more headway. He's down a lap and ultimately retired.
Yep. So top three. Super close together for a while now. I really wonder if Rapid is just playing a game here with the others. like that he willingly lost his 2-second lead because he realized that if he pushes so much, softs are not gonna hold up, and he is instead trying to build some DRS up for the fight that is inevitably gonna come in the last few laps. But yeah, doesn't really seem like he is in for a move onto Seagull here. Seagull not necessarily using much ERS to defend that though, neither. Maybe? I'm not here yet.
I really do wonder if he is just biding his time. As Hussein has made that pass on Kingsman ahead of the DRS zone, so Kingsman will get that back. I'm not sure he'll make the pass on Hussein on older hard tires, but helps
Oh,
keep
side by
him
side
close.
here, Jimsky and Rapid into turns 1 and 2.
Rapid just
Jimsky
having the
around
better
the
line. Oh,
outside.
there is contact there. It looked like Rapid did just snap slightly right as his rear right comes together with Jimsky's front left, but they've both come away unscathed, and Rapid does hold his position, but this battle is really going to go right down to the final lap.
Yeah, I mean, these two have had it in the earlier stages of the race in the first few turns as well. Going side by side there very aggressively, but yeah. Apparently, keep on doing that. Oh my. Jannemann has really just picked up the pace on the medium tire compared to Marseille. 9-second gap between.
Yeah, near 10. Marcelian just dropping back a little bit, switcheroo. I don't know that he's back in the session,
he
but at the
is.
very least, if he's not, then the AI's caught up about a second. Rapid looking for the move on Seagull. They're side by side going into that hairpin. Just holds his line. He has to take it tighter. He does get barely ahead of Seagull. And Seagull will get DRS back. Jimsky again keeping himself in this fight. Jimsky might well get Seagull here instead. There's no line here for Seagull to go down, and they maintain all their positions. And the swap has happened again, and Rapid, with just 3 laps to go, leads on the soft tyres.
All of them
And
are
he
relatively
filled a gap.
starved on ERS here, so like it's very even battlegrounds for the 3 here. Anybody could still take the win if they just chose to go at the right time, I think. Well, I'm not sure if you want to risk it, but I'd guess P2 is the place to be in for the last lap, and that is what each of these 3 know as well, and what they're trying to set up. Right now, Seagull in prime position then for his chance at the win. I wonder if they're gonna swap around the positions one more time. Or if he's just gonna chill behind Rapid as Rapid did before behind Seagull in the few laps coming up to this one. Let's see. Don't think he's close enough for a move. He's briefly used the overtake, and he is actually just gonna go past here. Parks his car on the apex, and oh my god!
No, Jimsky and Rapid come together, and Jimsky's gonna get the benefit of those two. But what did we say in qualifying? Seagull keeps it clean, and Jannemann,
yeah, he's just
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
He's just swooped through.
Oh,
and,
Rapid will have words
Yep.
to say about that one.
Yeah, that ain't great from Jimsky, and that has pretty much well, settled the question about the race winner, unless Seagull makes some major mistake here.
I mean, he would have to do a DNF
yeah,
worthy mistake. He'd have to completely wreck the car to lose out here. And Jannemann, who is just kept a clean running, all of a sudden finds himself in second place.
Yeah, as so often, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of come together for him in the end here. Of course, Rapid is now gonna have an even worse time. His softs are already dead, and like he had to clean them again after being spun onto the grass, and yeah, it's a bit tight. Switcheroo and Marcelian here will probably not be a danger for him, but Switcheroo might be eyeing for that P5 still.
He just dropping back off of Yaneman there as well, so
Jimsky completely starved from ERS as well. Like to see if he got front wing damage out of this one. Does not look like it. But he can't really keep up with Yaneman apparently. As we enter the last lap, Seagull is far ahead. He's only just going to be running into the Alpines and and Nitro, but I don't actually think he's even getting there before the race ends. So no backmarker business for him as well.
Victory has just kept himself close here as well. Oh, Emil and Kingsman having a battle going into turn 1. Kingsman just about staying ahead on those hard tires with Emil on the mediums. Switcheroo staying very close to the back of Marcel Jan here. Emil as well look to do the same.
There's a bunch of spots where overtakes could still happen here. I think for P5, for P2 even though Jimsky is now quite a bit down off Yaneman.
Yeah, even he will get DRS, but it's not going to be enough. He would genuinely have to send in what would arguably be a really risky and quite possibly dangerous lunge down the inside of Yaneman here, and it's simply not going to happen. He's going to be too far back.
He doesn't have energy neither, so like he doesn't have the power in the tank right now to still make a move. Seagull is going to cross the line in first here.
Switcheroo should get the move done here on Marcel Jan. In fact, it's in plenty of clear air before that turn, but oh, he nearly loses it.
Yeah.
Coming out. Maybe, just maybe Marcel Jan has a chance to fight back. He's not going to get it, and Switcheroo with a good recovery to what was a very unfortunate disconnect.
Oh my. Rapid could have almost lost some more there even. Emils has made it past Kingsman in the end as well. But Rapid ran out of fuel even by the end of it. And yeah.
Tiancha, the only one that's really going to be close to anyone in Mr. Mouse is just going to be too far off, so the rest of the grid will finish more or less as it looks. The back three. Oh! Mofawa, I think, was trying to push for a fastest lap and sent it a little too hard. Nitro and Mr. Janier do end up together.
Yeah, they might have one more chance here. But I think Nitro just had a better exit. To Janier here. Yeah, no more ERS in the tank at all. It's just way too far back for the move. And yeah, he's just gonna go home in 16th. Ofawa in 17th here, coming in last. And yeah, honestly, like thrilling Chinese GP here, even for the elite here. Driver of the day, Yaneman here. I think for once this is a pick I could agree on. Very nice recovery from P10 or something after lap 1. I think he was spun in the Hussein incident as well. Hussein, of course, I think made it up to P5 as well from P16 or something. Yeah. We're gonna see. For now, it is Seagull, Yaneman, Jimsky on the podium here. Rapid ultimately coming home in 4th after the incident in the penultimate lap. And yeah, a nice W for the Red Bull driver, former champion. Yeah, really continuing right where he stopped.
Again, just another one where he just keeps his nose out of trouble, and seems to benefit. He was leading out of that turn anyway, and it could really have gone to any of the three drivers between Jimsky, Rapid, and Seagull, but contact between the two, in which to me looked like was Jimsky's fault. But we'll of course have a closer look at that as the week goes on.
Yeah.
Just leave
Rapid.
Seagull with what was a comfortable final 2 laps.
Yeah. Rapid also with the fastest lap switcheroo, ultimately passed Martin and Paul P5. Yeah, Hussein only getting back to 7th, but still, I think, pretty much last after the first lap. Very nice recovery here. Yeah, if anything, a good performance. So, I think that marks the end of tonight's stream. Tonight's coverage of the 2 races. Next week is Easter, so we're gonna head into break. Afterwards, we're gonna be back in Jeddah, if I'm not mistaken. One of my favorite tracks to watch, and definitely gonna be a thrilling race there as well. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. See you then. And it's lights out and away we go here in Formula Sundays. Through the final chicane, and the AlphaTauri hits the wall of champions.